Thank you so much. I also am very excited to hear from both of you. So yeah, like I said, my name is Rebecca. I'm one of the APA board members, but I just want to kind of introduce our lovely guests today. So we have both Andrea Stern and Renee Vespi, the creative director of brand development at Stern Rep.
Rainey.
Rainey, sorry, I'm so sorry that I apologize.
It's okay.
All right, so just to give you all an introduction of Stern Rep is based in LA, and they are an international boutique agency representing a group of passionate and talented commercial photographers in product, automotive, and lifestyle industries, among others. Founder Andrea Stern opened shop in Venice in 1995 after attending Brooks Institute, bringing with her a diverse creative professional background. Drawing on her experience in commercial production, film sets, still photography, and boxing training, Andrea developed a unique, genuine, and enthusiastic style of representation. More than 2 decades later, that passion for connection remains central to our success. Known within the industry for talent recognition and negotiation, Stern Rep brings together top photographers, retouchers, and clients from their respective fields, offering each personalized care and service while building rewarding long-term relationships. We care about what we do and the people we work with. We believe in authenticity, commitment, and humor as are important in business as in life, and that understanding how to treat people is essential to long-term success in both. After all, life is short, why not enjoy it? Stern Rep's talent has worked on major campaigns for Apple, Google, Target, Nissan, Toyota. There's so many, I can't even list them all, but there are plenty of amazing clients that they have worked with. So at this point, I would love to turn it over to both of you to talk to us more about how to best utilize Instagram for marketing.
All right. Wow, I have a very long bio. Gosh.
I liked that. That was really nice.
That was good, huh?
That was really nice.
Did I write that? Okay, back to this. So we're really happy to be here today, and we thank Chicago APA. This was a great idea. I would, Rainey, you too, right? We want to listen to every one of these.
I've been listening all morning, so it's been
very
yeah.
valuable. Really good idea. So as you heard, I'm Andrea Stern of Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep. If you don't know about that, go on Instagram right now. So today I'm going to share how my Instagram became our most effective marketing tool to bring in jobs. If I can do it, anyone can do it. True, Rainey? True?
It's true.
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 Exactly. So my experience with Instagram has not been an easy one. I honestly avoided it as much as possible. Years ago, a very caring and honest art producer said to me, Andrea, you need a presence on social media. I have to say it made no sense to me at the time, and it felt disturbingly annoying. And then I met Rainey.
I don't think they can see me yet, but maybe they can.
Oh, I think so. Okay. You're up here with me.
All right.
Rainey Vespi is a Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep creative director of brand development and my social media creator, my social media coach, and my guru. It's true, Rainey. Mm-hmm. So let's begin. Rainey is Rainey's also a distinguished beauty photographer. Rainey takes pictures on Instagram. Mm-hmm. That's your other career going on.
You got to follow me, everybody.
Immediately. So Rainey, thank you for sharing your secrets with everyone today as we review how we do what we do. And you told me something about being at parties and your friends talk to you for hours asking you questions.
Yeah, the whole time. Well, I can spend hours talking about social media. I have no idea how that happened, but it's become my world. Yeah.
Well, I know how it happens because you know what you're talking about.
Right.
So this is our party. This is how we're all going to ask you questions at your party. So at the end of this, we do have question time. So come up with your questions, and I'm going to talk quickly because we have a certain amount of time. Today, we're going to talk about the overall breakdown of the Instagram game plan that we use, the do's and don'ts samples. We're going to show you samples of the feed and Insta stories that do work and don't work. And before we get to your questions at the end, I put together like a speedy lightning round of topics of features on Instagram that we all really should know about. So let's get into this, because if you are a photographer for hire Instagram could be and should be where your business comes alive. Right, Rainey?
Yes, absolutely.
Rainey agrees with me on everything. This is good.
Yeah.
That's how I like it. No. Just like our websites, the first impression of Instagram is about capturing our clients' attention very, very quickly. When I first check out a photographer's Instagram, I check the date of the last feed, the last post, to see if it's recent or how long it's been and how much time between posts. So that's what I do. That's my first impression. Rainey, what do you look for when you first look at someone's Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I absolutely agree with that, because nobody wants, first of all, nobody wants an old Instagram. We want to see that there's something happening, that you're alive and that you're working and that you're inspired. So, you want to keep consistency on there. Other than that, I would say just the overall branding and look of the page. Like, what does your profile picture look like? Do you have the bio filled out? Do you have engaging highlights? Do I want to tap on those? Do I want to watch your highlights? Do we have, and then the feed as a whole, how does it flow? So just really the overall, you got to focus in and make it look good.
Right. Well, let's talk about the basic groundwork for photographers to grab the attention of clients very fast. How do they stay on top of their scheduling to make the most of Instagram?
Well, I mean, the easiest thing is to set a day out of your month. You don't have to do it every day. Just sit down, find the work that you want to be showing on your Instagram, and make a grid for yourself. Put it all together so you can visually see how it's going to look at first glance, because it's always going to be first glance for a client. They're going to look once, for a second, and if they're not interested, then they're going to get right off. They're not going to follow you back. So you want it to look good, but you can do that. Like, just do it. Like, I always mid-month, the month before. So I'll do it like right now is the perfect time to get ready for December. So I'll take all the work that we have that we can use, and you sit there and you just schedule out your whole month and use a scheduler.
And what you're just talking about the feed right?
That's just the feed. Yes.
Right. Okay.
But you can, a lot of these schedulers now, you can do Insta stories on them too. You can pre-schedule those if you want to. I mean, I tend to like Insta stories to be that more instant, like new thing, real life, authentic place on Instagram, which is what the feed used to be, right? But so that I don't really use that, but you absolutely can, especially if you're just gonna show work if you want to like schedule out maybe a cool way of presenting your work in an Insta story. You could definitely do that in the middle of the month if you have like a new group of images coming out and you want to show them in a really dynamic way.
On our Stern Rep account, I see how you have this method to not post all of the images at once. What is the consistency schedule you have set up for us? How do you manage that?
I mean, we post once a day, right? I mean, it is different than if it was a single photographer. We're very lucky that we have a plethora of work that can get us through the year. I'm trying to think.
Well, so you prep ahead of time, you schedule it out, you take a month and you get it out of the way. Because I know you send it to me, you're like, what do you think? And I always go, I've never said, no, I don't like it. But you do it way in advance. And you seem to have a system that you spread it out. Like, well, for us, it's Caleb one day, Jeff another day, Paul.
Right.
And also you seem to do, if we're showing a reel and you're showing it on the story, you don't do the next day the same thing. Like you mix it up.
Yeah, it's all about mixing it up because you want people to be interested. And if you're always doing the same exact thing every day, if you're posting the exact same picture every day, if you're showing me reels that look exactly the same every day, nobody's going to be interested in this constantly. And it's the push, right? It's got to be a push and pull, like you can't always be pushing the sales aspect. And that's when you have to become involved as a person in the Instagram,
Ooh, we'll
right?
get to that. We'll get to that. Ooh.
That's the hardest part, right?
Yes. I mean, I could go more here, but I'm going to push on because time.
Right. Already, yes.
Right. So if you could give a photographer one major tip to help themselves run their Instagram consistently, what would you say?
I mean, it's this, I'd say it's the scheduling,
Mhm.
definitely. And just give yourself a system.
Mm,
Have really good archives. Like, look at, another thing to do is like, look at what holidays are coming up. It could be a big holiday like a Thanksgiving, or it can be like National Cat Day.
I knew
And
you'd say that.
yeah, I
Uh-huh.
have to, right? So it can be like, just find, there are websites. I have a website that I always go to at it like mid-month, so I can see where we're at so that we can utilize that, and then we can stretch it out. We can use content, we can use maybe older content here in those days, like you don't have to be stuck only using something brand new all the time. Find a reason on Instagram to show it. That's the perfect place to be able to continually show things.
On the story?
The stories and the feed too, I
Ah.
think you can come in there and like, if you have really like seasonal work, like something that was amazing, looks super fall, like it looks like autumn, and you have that from 3 years ago, you could show one of those on your feed again. People
Right.
like those, to see those vibes like in the season.
Right. I always, I'm always pushing photographers to share more of their world. And I know I used to get really confused by that. What do you think holds photographers back from, like, intimidates them from Instagram?
I think they overthink it, right? So I think they overthink it, and they think that they are not interesting. So that's the thing I always hear over and over again. I'm just not that interesting. I'm not an interesting person. Who's going to be interested in that?
Hmm.
And the thing is you are, I promise. Like, every person is interesting. All we want, and by we, I mean everybody, is connection. We're all looking for it. The clients are looking for it too. So I think it's the overthinking. And then it's obviously the things that come into play with that are just insecurity and being shy. I mean, we don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to, I don't, do you don't want to, right?
Well, that leads to my next question, because
okay.
I know very firsthand how you coached me to come to life. And that was a big project. I know I seem like, sure, I'll tell you everything, but I did not want to. Our Instagram accounts were not really full of life and full of me at the time. It was just very work. I feel like this question is the golden nugget. One thing to walk away with today is this world opening experience you helped me learn to do. How did you bring me around to relax into sharing who I am in that fine line of personal and professional?
I think, well, we found inspiration, right? We went on Instagram and we found people that had kind of paved the way. We were like, what is this person that's similar to you doing on Instagram? They have a large following. What are they doing? And they are appealing to me as a human, but I still see them as a professional. So we looked for people that we admired, and we sort of mirrored what we were seeing. Right? Isn't that what we did?
I remember you saying, hold that phone up to my face and do a video. I thought you were on crack.
Really?
I was like, you are crazy. It felt so weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's so hard, especially for people like photographers who like to be behind the camera. Like, I get it. I'm nervous right now on this camera, what we're doing, right? So I feel you guys.
But somehow you got me to, I think you helped point out, like, you coached me into what was interesting about my life. You gave me ideas.
Right.
So I saw it through your eyes. Instead, I kind of stepped out of my own self a little to see what But I could-
Absolutely.
But I could offer.
Yeah, and I think that that's what we have to do. We have to step out of ourselves, and because we don't think we're interesting. So it might take. I think if you want to do it on your own, I would start making lists. Understand, say who am I? What are things that define me as a person that could be cool to share on social media? Because how many messages do you like, how much engagement do we get when we're showing something that's a little bit more, even if it's like Andrea loves baseball, let's show that you're watching a baseball game, and it's not about work, but you're gonna find clients that are gonna be like, I'm watching the game too. And this is when it becomes this personal connection that you're now establishing with the clients. You don't need to get, you have to decide what your boundaries are, I think, as well. So, people are like, well, I don't want to share my political views. That's understandable. You don't have to do that. But if you want to share about baseball or your cats or whatever it is that your plants, I have all my plants. I got my little children in here. Show these things. You're going to find that people like it. And I think Mary Dale said this in one of the webinars you guys did. About, or maybe somebody quoted her, and she said that it could be the tiebreaker, right, between you getting the job and you not getting the job. And that really, I keep thinking about that. Like, that's always in the back of my mind. We want them to know us because we're fun and cool. And if you're going to be on set for 12 days, they want the coolest person on set with them.
That's so interesting, because even just here, and you said cats and baseball, I felt my whole presence kind of come to life. I did. And that's how we can show ourselves, by just really authentically sharing the things that make me feel like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be every day. We're not talking, and again, we are not trying to make you an influencer. We are not trying to get you to 150,000 followers. That would be very nice. Okay. Be very nice. But that's not the point here. We just want you to be active and utilizing this free place to consistently market yourself, because you can't send an email promo every day. For sure, every day. You can't do this. No. But you can pop up on Instagram every day if you want to. Or it can be a few times a week. I would just say be active. Don't be gone for a week or two at a time. Just pop in a couple times a week on stories.
I have a quote from you. You said, what we need to do is brand me as a person, and not just you as a photographer.
Right. Exactly. That's what you want to think of in the stories. That's how we utilize the stories, at least, right? We make it so that it's full of all of it, of who you are as a person. And then also you can throw in your work in there sometimes too. And we'll show you guys on the PDFs that we have.
I find it, and let's do a screen share if we can, please. I find it the most valuable thing. I want this from our photographers all the time.
Right.
If I can show who they are, it's like I'm selling without selling, because I'm being relatable and authentic. I'm showing who they are.
100%.
Like, it's the best sales tool. Yeah,
exactly. We have like Caleb Cool, who we rep. We were like, we saw he was kind of working on his shed to turning it into an office.
Yeah.
And we're like, show this, keep showing, especially it's connecting back to the work because it's his office. So it's like, it's not revealing too much, but he built it with his hands. We're like, show this.
And it's interesting. Yeah. And that was one of his highest viewed from clients on a daily basis. They were like, what's next? What's next? But let's jump into the do's and the don'ts of the feed. Rebecca, can you share screen share?
I don't know if I can do it if I need to, I guess. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up.
Okay.
I have it right here.
So Rainey made a little diagram. Is that what we'd call it?
Yeah. It's a visual representation.
A visual.
Yeah.
So we can show you what the do's and the don'ts of the feed, and then the Insta stories. We'll do that one next.
Okay. So, okay. So we have the Insta feed here. We have like, we have 3 good ones and we have 1 not so good, right? So there are different ways to do it. So there's not like one, one size fits all for a feed. There can be many different ways you can take it. The one thing I will say is you need to know what you want before you jump into it. Do you like, what do you want it to look like? And how much work do you want to put into it? Because, so we have ours here. This is a little bit of an example of our feed. It's very kind of simple. It's at the traditional square, and we're just kind of flowing. Ours is about a flow from picture to picture, like.
And color too, right?
Color, yeah. Like I'll try to
Mhm.
pull a little bit of like it, like a little bit of this gold here, and I'll like find some gold in the next pictures, just so like it's flowing. And I don't want, two pictures next to each other that are filling the frame too much, because you want a nice flow.
Easy on the eyes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So this is an easy one in terms of like, you just need to look at it visually and plan it out, ahead of time, I would say, so what's coming after the last one.
It is interesting how Jeff does it so different,
Right.
but
Yes.
it really does flow as well because he has a structure to it.
Yeah, 100%. And so that's the thing. So so then we have Jeff Stockwell's, his feed, and you can see here, he has them all on like a white border. He has each picture, right? And he does one like here, like he has, it's like a landscape. It'll be a landscape and there'll be a portrait, a landscape and a portrait. And so this is another step, right? This is another step in the planning. Like he has to put it into an app or, into Photoshop, and he has to put, give it a frame. So every single time he's posting, there's an extra step than to just upload it like ours is. But what he can do here is like, I feel like he has a little bit more freedom in what comes next. Like it does need to be landscape, portrait, but like, because they're so spread out, I feel like it doesn't, like he has a picture of himself here. This is him and his fiance. And I feel like it fits. I don't find that to be distracting because it's kind of flowing,
I know, I bet I know a question that's happening out there. How much personal, how much work?
I mean, I would say the feed, it should be probably like close to 100% work. But in the case that it flows well and it fits in your branding of your work, I think you can throw in something here like this if you want to, because it's not just, I don't find this distracting from what else we've got going here. People might even think it, because he does lifestyle work. So, this could be a cute lifestyle portrait too. So if it kind of fits in your branding of your work, I think you could throw in a personal photo occasionally if it fits. But I still say a closer to 100, like 99%.
Me too. I say the Instagram is our new website.
Absolutely.
And to treat it like that. Because I know clients, they're in an office, they're in a meeting, they will look on Instagram to find your name because it's quicker than going to a website.
Yeah.
Like under the table at the meeting.
Wow. Yeah. So you want it to be easy to read. Like you want it to be fast and like they know exactly who you are as a photographer in the feed. And so we have Caleb's here, so it's just a different way. And this takes a lot of planning, right? So he's going to have to he does it by 3s here. You can see some people do it by 9s, right? They'll do this whole section will be all, a collage of images, or it'll be one big one, it'll be all one picture. And this looks beautiful.
If they start doing it like that, do they have to stick with that? I would think it would look kind of funny.
They will have to stick to 3. It'll always have to be in 3s, because if they ever were to add one picture by itself, this collage will be messed up. So that's especially if you're doing like the 9x9s. By the time you get, if you're gonna like, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, you can do that, but just understand when people are scrolling down, that beautiful work you did is gonna it's gonna look sloppy when they get towards the end and they see that, like, what am I looking at here? It gets confusing.
Yeah.
but it looks beautiful. Just, it's going to take extra time, a lot of extra time to do something like this,
Mhm.
but it looks great.
Pre-planning.
Exactly.
And then the next one is
And
no.
this one, this is the no, I would say. So this is just something I put together a little bit. This has a lot, you're gonna like a lot of personal stuff on it. So this is like an example of showing some of your beautiful work. So we have some really, nice images in here, but I have no idea what's going on this
Mm.
Instagram. So it's like, it doesn't matter if you're putting your work. If here I'm like, what? And why is this cat here? Is this the same picture? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Here's me. That's you at Disneyland. I mean, that's me at Disneyland, but you know what I mean? Like, what am I, that's cute, but I want to know what I'm getting from my photographer.
Right.
So it's like, is this their work? Is this it? I'm even confused if this is their work at this point, because I have so many other things going on here. Is this their picture?
You know what just by how you're saying it, we don't want clients to have to stop and think.
Yeah, no thinking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't think. That's don't think. I would say that we don't want that the clients to have to think, and we don't want you to think in your stories. So just to go back, you don't think about your stories too much, and they don't want to think when they come to your feed.
I love that.
It always comes to not overthinking, because I'm a real expert in overthinking. So if I'm an expert in anything, that's it. So I understand.
Yes. Yeah, it gets in the way.
Absolutely.
So, okay, Insta stories.
Okay. So Insta stories, these are all actually dues. Because I think these were all really good performers for us. And some of them are not, some of them are our photographers from their own stories, just to show you things that work and how diverse it can be, so it can be like showing off your work in a pretty layout like this. It can be showing off your work like in different ways and using stickers. Stickers are awesome to use. They help with engagement, and it pumps you up in the algorithm. So I'm always recommending to use any kind of stickers. And so, and then here, like this is just showing a quote that resonates with you. And if you have words on it, add some words. So this has a lot of good stuff going on in this one. Should we go over all of these? Do we want to go over all?
Yeah,
of
I mean, I find this really valuable.
Okay. Is everybody, everyone likes it? Okay. And then like, this is from Jeff. He works on cars. He takes cool pictures of the car. Show what you do off the clock. If there's especially he's a car photographer, he works on cars. I mean, this couldn't, like, if I'm a beauty photographer and like, maybe I get my own makeup done or something, like, like maybe I should show that, because that would people in the beauty world would probably be interested in seeing anybody get their makeup done,
It's relatable. Yeah,
absolutely. And then obviously we like BTS. Everybody likes BTS. It doesn't have to just be you behind the camera. Like, Vinny's a food photographer. This is Vinny Finn. And he has to get rid of flies, that are in the studio. Like, show these quirky things from set, and then show your face. Here's Andrea showing her face on a bike ride. And the ones I'm showing you from ours, I picked those because those ones had the highest from the last, like the highest engagement from the last year. So like this right here did really, really well for us. We had a lot, like it just had the most, like, this is it. This is what people want to see. I know you think that that's not what they want to see, but it seems like it is what people want to see.
It's so funny because before I was like, yeah, I'm on a bike ride.
I know that's not interesting, bike ride, but
you know what it is? If I can feel interested in it, now I'm thinking, well, if I'm interested, I'm going to put it out there because others might get interested.
And they are, right? That's what we're seeing, is that they always are. Like, that's perfect to talk about, like this one here, where this one is this is our best performing story of the entire year. Wow. This one right here. Andrea talked, and all it is a photo that Andrea took on a hike and sharing, true, authentic words about herself. Wow. And people love it. I mean, that's just being honest about who you are, sometimes you don't have to show your face even if you don't want to. Just if you can write something out in words, that's really where people find that connection. And then here's a day off. And look at this, cats and baseball. Wow, we really set it up, huh? But this one performed really well too, you know? And it doesn't, like, did you think really hard on that one? When you put that up? Did you? No, you didn't, right? So it's like, you know, throw it up there on a Sunday. If you're watching, do they have baseball games on Sunday?
Yes,
they do. Okay. So if you're watching a game on a Sunday, you know, people like it. It's relatable. You know, if you can, you know, and so if you want to, you know, you can take a selfie like this, very straightforward, or, you know, take a self-portrait, get fancy, have fun with it. This is beautiful from Jeff. This is so beautiful. Like I want to see this stuff myself. Ask questions, you know, always use the stickers if you can, anytime. So this is another sticker. It's a question sticker. Put that up, ask a question if you have a question. This was, this I believe was our top performer on our Ask Stern Rep Instagram from the whole last year.
wow.
This slide right here.
Is that because of the algorithms, you think?
Yeah, because I think a thing I can, and this was really a high performer as well for us. This one right here. That's why I used it. And that's why I say it's the triple threat, because it's showing a piece of who you are, and you're showing it by showing a quote from someone else. Like if you see something that resonates with you, you don't even have to write it. Just, oh, wow, repost this. This has something that resonated with you. You wrote a little bit about it, and then you used a sticker. So you did 3 things that I think pump you right up in the algorithm, you know? And so then there's just traditional BTS. There's Jeff and Afil. This is, I love this. It's so good. And then this is just, you know, piggybacking on this same thing, quotes that resonate, you know? It doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be serious. Like this one is a beautiful quote. This one is Joe Rogan is Gwyneth Paltrow for men, is the most accurate thing I've heard this year.
And that's from Sean and John.
Sean and John. That was, yeah, they put that on their Instagram. And I think that really fits in with their branding, this sort of quote. And I love that. Like, I thought this was funny. I'm a fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, by the way, just in case.
These are great. Thank you for sharing these.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to stop share.
It's so back to that quote that you had said about being a person.
Yes.
This is our way. What were you going to say?
No, I'm just saying, like, you don't, it doesn't always have to be you creating something. If you see work from someone else, like if a friend of yours are any art, music, just, hey, you know, Taylor Swift just had, you know, talk about the new Taylor Swift album, whatever, like, or not even talk about it, just share it, share from her Instagram to yours. Then people know who you are a little bit. They're getting to know what's in your brain that connects to your brain. And now they can maybe find a way to connect to you, you know?
Yes. I just thought of something. Rebecca, we don't know what time to end for questions, so let us know. Or something.
Yes, it's 1:40 here. So I would say we have about 10-15 minutes for questions. So it might be a good time, or if you have a few more things you wanted to showcase.
I do some more. I have a lightning round questions for Rainey and
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Rainey, will you give us a quick purpose for highlights?
Oh, okay. Well,
Highlights are one of my favorite. I got to just throw it in there. Are they? Totally.
Yeah. Well, can you tell
yes.
us? Can you tell us?
It gives a sense that the photographer is a serious professional, and it's like on the website having sections, and it makes it easy because I don't really have time, which is silly, but I don't really want to go to their website after that. Who are they? I just don't have the patience for it. But if I can click quickly on a highlight or see just what the highlights, if they say what they are, I know right away. And that answers my question. What were you going to say?
I mean, kind of exactly the same thing. And I mean, because it's a great way to show your categories, because where else do you put that? I mean, you could say, you know, lifestyle photographer or car photographer in your bio, but maybe you have a few categories. And you could put those in your bio, which you should, but this is a way for them to click on it and find work, you know, just like, you know, they can click on it and go, I want to see their lifestyle work. So maybe you do take that time to make some nice slides in your Insta story so that you can put them in that highlight. And so they live there for somebody to come click on whenever they want to see it.
And well designed,
Absolutely. Yeah. Have a
even
nice-
in a very simple way.
yeah. Just make it look like they go to like that.
Mhm.
That it makes sense that they each kind of match each other, whether it's in words or maybe it's pictures. Maybe it is like, if you have it like, I think Caleb's are like pictures of the cars, you know, so it'll be like this car, and then he has the picture of the car. I think that absolutely works too. You don't have to get super designy, but
Have it match and to your bio picture, your profile.
absolutely, yes.
What about reels? We talk a lot about reels.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Well, I know, but now now
know.
like time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Reels is just a really great way to be findable by people that don't follow you. And the algorithm is really skewing that way for right now, towards showing people your Reels. And truly, they can just be whatever you want them to be. It just needs to be 30 seconds to a minute long of motion. So if you have motion work, put it in there. If you have, you know, we use ours on Stern Rep as like slideshows of work from our photographers. We've put some fun music, use some animation, you know, and then people can go in our reels, and then we have like all these projects from our photographers. You know, we make it pretty and easy for them. And you know, so you can utilize it. Doesn't have to be a dance. You don't have to do a dance. You don't have to you know, I don't know what people, I don't know what TikTok,
One of those TikTok
I
dance.
don't know the dancing things at all,
Yeah.
actually. But utilizing it, because I also really like to see a fully used Instagram. So I like to see that there's some motion. I like to see that there's reels. I like to click on it and go, ooh, look at this, how alive this Instagram is. They're working it.
And we get a lot of engagement.
So much more so than in the and then in the stories. That's what we're finding right now. The numbers are just better on reels right now. So and so paying attention to the insights, that's the whole thing too. See what's working for your own. Like we find that the things that work the best for us in numbers wise in Insta stories are the more personal, and in reels the same thing. When we put your face on reels, what happens? We have like 2 times, 3 times the views.
My face?
Yeah.
Oh,
Your face. And so yeah, people like your face.
thanks for liking my face. And what happened to Instagram TV?
It's gone. It's not gone. It's called Instagram Video now. So if you ever had the external app for IGTV, it should just have changed the name, because there was an extra app for that. But so you'll see that the icon is a little bit different on your page, and it's also combining any other video you posted on your feed in the past that wasn't that you hadn't put in IGTV. It's now in Instagram Video. They're all the same. So it wasn't like as IGTV, it wasn't really hitting the way Instagram wanted or thought it should. So so now it's just a place for you to post videos that are up to an hour long. So
An hour. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have anything over a minute that can't fit into reels, you can put it in IGTV. So again, motion, any kind of motion you have in there, or like Instagram lives, if you do an Instagram live, you can save it in there.
Right.
Yeah.
How would you describe the importance of IG Live?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's super important, but it's another aspect that can be fun for you to use. And you might not get a lot of people tuning in right away, but again, what we found is people tune in later on. So maybe you have 30 people in the audience while you're actually live, but maybe you get 500 people that watch it later. So if you want to you know, like I saw photographer Erin Sullivan, I saw her do a live last week on a shoot, like a shoot she was doing at home, a test. Like that's fun. People
That's
like
fun.
that. Yeah.
And it's content for reels, right?
It's content for the Instagram TV, Instagram Video now. But
we can't put on reels?
no, because it'll be too long, because the reels is only up to 60 seconds still. So, but I mean, if you can screen record some of it, you repurpose it any way you want.
Oh, yeah. Because that's what we do, because I see ours on there.
Ours are on I think are on our Instagram video. They're on our Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
video.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know the tabs look the same. They look very like, it's like it's a play button, and then there's like a play button inside of a little thing. So it gets
'Cause
confusing.
I think the goal for photographers, I mean, we need content, just like clients these days just need so much content.
Yeah.
We are the same. So
Yeah.
any way we can imagine that we can get comfortable, even not be comfortable, like what you and I are doing right now, it's good for us, for everybody. It's not really what we would wake up and go, oh, I want to do this talk on and be in front of the camera.
Yeah,
But it's content. It's like, we got to keep ourselves active.
absolutely.
So the algorithm, ooh, I hate that word, but can you give us a quick explanation on how to handle the topic of the algorithm?
Well, I think you just, especially because we're not trying to be influencers, I would
Mhm.
say, just work with it how you can. And so that would be to pay attention to your insights and to keep up on it. I mean, you can follow creators. I think that's what it's called on Instagram. It's like it's like from Instagram, and they explain, sometimes I saw that they did an explanation of how they push up your reels on the algorithm. So sometimes if you're following the right people, they will explain it to you a little bit, like from the people that do it. Like Instagram will tell you a little bit, but it's always changing. So I would just say pay attention to your insights, see what works for you individually, and pay attention to the trends. Because anything that's trending on Instagram, that's going to bump up your algorithm a bit. So you're going to want to use, again, that's why I'm saying like all the stickers, like when you open up your Instagram story to, and you have the little sticker button on the top, see what's in there on the top, see what you can use in there to help with your engagement.
I love that. It's
And
anything that will.
hashtags, obviously.
Oh, and what about captions?
And captions. Yeah, you again, it's like being relatable and authentic, and kind of, it's just, say, you don't want to just put like, here's this, this by this. I mean, you can, and that's totally fine. It's just whatever your style is. Just try to put a little bit of who you are into your writing as well, if you can.
Back to that same theory. Yes. I see a question here from Jeff. Are
Okay.
there particular days of the week or times of day that you're likely to get more views?
Oh gosh. I mean, you have to look at your insights. So you'll see everybody's is going to have different numbers in your insights. It's always just paying attention to this. So you'll see, it will show you when your followers are mostly online in your insights. So I would say this is pretty individual, but I mean, for the most part, like, I feel like it's midday for across the board. It's sort of like maybe like a 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. sort of a window of like when your people are online most. But I can only speak to our accounts. I would go into your own insights and look at that.
Megan Shooter. Hey, Megan. What are the best scheduling apps for Instagram?
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
We use Only Pult. That's the one that we use. And we use one called Buffer as well for other things, but Only Pult has been really good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the one I would recommend, since that's the one we use, but there are a million of them.
What apps do you, I know you use Canva to design what we do on it, on the stories. Are there others that you like?
Yeah, I use InShot sometimes for reels too. And then occasionally, because sometimes, you have things that don't work for everything. So I'll kind of, maybe Adobe Spark, because that's another good one. Yeah, those are all good ones.
Do you find it important to save stories as memories for people to look back on, or is it just something that needs to organically reoccur for people to connect with and discover?
Do we mean like highlights? Is that what
I think Insta stories?
Yeah, so that would be a highlight. That's because that's the only way.
Oh, where to save it?
Yeah, you would be saving
Right.
it to a highlight. So if there's something that like, if you just took an amazing trip and you took beautiful photos on it and you're like, where does this live? This isn't what I do, but I'd like for people to come see it again. You could make a highlight for your travels or, or for whatever, maybe say personal if you think that people would be connected to that.
Yeah, I'd say if it relates to your work and it did really well, you see on the insights, it was hit large. You could even make it a story how well it did and show that
Yeah.
again. I love
Yeah.
doing that. Or we make promos out of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. There's no rules. There's just no rules. Like
Mm.
have a good time with it. Be innovative. If you have ideas like that, like, because we do something doesn't mean that's the thing that you should be doing. Like like have fun with it. You're a creative person, you're a creative visual person. I mean, Instagram could kind of be your thing. You could kind of really be awesome at it, I bet.
Because it's being that person.
It's an extension of
Yeah.
the creativity that you already have. It's already, you use it for your work, and you get to be consistent. Again, you're going to be able to be in front of your clients every day if you want, and it won't be weird,
Right. And if they
Yeah.
want to look great. Okay. So someone anonymous disagrees with me on the
Oh.
topic of we don't want them to think. Oh, on the feed, I was saying you don't want to think too hard. I didn't mean just thinking, more confusing and trying for them to figure out what they're looking at.
Yeah. We want you to think when you're putting it together a
Yes.
bit. Yes.
And
But
make
don't-
your audience think in a quality way, but not get confused.
Yes.
Is it appropriate to follow and interact with prospective clients, producers, agency people? I definitely say yes, but on my webinar, I have heard people say no, but I don't listen to that. So that's my opinion. What's the name of the scheduler? You did answer that.
I can put it in the chat. I'll put it in the
Yeah.
chat thing over here.
And
Does it matter
also,
how many-
Andrea,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I think that anonymous person who was disagreeing also kind of was focusing more about how to get folks to kind of stop and engage with you instead of just mindlessly scrolling on Instagram, which a lot of us all do.
Got it.
Yeah, good engagement is the key. So yes, make them think in that way. Yes. Does it matter how many followers you have? I say, if you want to be an influencer, yes. If you don't, I still think we have to have, if a photographer has 300, it could look bad on us. So have as much as you can without going into the influencer direction, unless you want to be that. Let's see. Is there a preferred schedule? Oh, that scheduling app is very popular. Is there a best practice for posting longer videos to Instagram? I used to be able to post on IGTV app, then it would post on the IG feed,
Mhm.
but then I could add a preview link to the story. Do you have an answer to that before I read all
You
of
should
it?
be able to do that still in Instagram video. It should be doing all the things that IGTV used to do. So it'll take an hour-long video in there, and it'll post to your feed too. It'll post to your feed and to the video, unless you want to remove it from your feed, which you can.
Do you recommend any particular app for making slideshows of stills to post as a reel?
I use Canva. I use Canva and I use InShot. Those are the ones that I use.
A question: about 75% of my followers don't see my post stories often. What would be some tools to be more visible? That's a great topic. We could go on about that.
Yeah, that one's a little bit trickier, I'd say. I mean, because if you're not getting the engagement, like I think you just have to, it's all a mystery. That's the whole thing with the algorithm, is that like you're not showing up, and it's like it could be this reason this week and a different reason next week. I would say like you could just maybe try cross posting, put everything you post on your feed, throw it in your story, and maybe tell people, say, hey, are you seeing this on my feed? Like put the sticker up, like, in your, when you post it to your story, add a sticker. Are you seeing this? Yes or no? If you're not, like, can you go and like it and save it? Because the save is the most powerful thing on Instagram feed at this point.
The save?
The save, yeah. over the commenting and the liking, it's the save. That's the most important thing for the algorithm. So if you have people saving your things on your feed, that's going to help you show up more in their feed.
I found that if I write small, people have to stay there for a longer period of time.
If you write small.
Yeah, if the letters are
Oh, right. On the
kinda tiny.
story. Nice. I like that. That's a good one.
I'm very sneaky.
Yeah, you are.
I feel like I did have
that
more questions or topics.
Wait.
Do we have to, is it?
I think we have just a few more moments. I think we've gotten through most of the questions that I've seen. If there's any last questions that anyone wants to post, but I think we've gotten through most of them. That the scheduling app is certainly the popular question. Everybody wants the programs and the tricks and tips that you actually use to utilize all these.
Well, Rainey, for Ask Stern Rep, do we use a different, or we're still on OnlyPulp? I know that.
We use OnlyPulp for the scheduling. Yes, we use OnlyPulp for both, and that you can have your account with multiple accounts. So if you have, and you can cross post to other platforms as well. So like, it's not just Instagram. So you can use it for Facebook, or I don't know what else, but in Twitter maybe, I don't know. We use what's the other one? What's the other one that we use? Buffer. Buffer is the one that Buffer is the other one. I'll put this here. We use that one for the other social medias. Because that one is very easy to cross post between platforms.
Yeah,
But
we
only
use
Instagram.
Buffer.
You like that one?
Yeah. Kinda. Like, I mean, you still have to write the content for each individual platform. There's really no time savings in copying and pasting.
Yeah.
And two, if you want to use LinkedIn where you're adding people in your post, I think you have to post on LinkedIn. I don't think, whenever I try to do LinkedIn on Buffer and put the person's name, it doesn't find them in the LinkedIn.
Oh.
Whereas, like, for example, if you use Twitter on Buffer and you put a hashtag in, it will find the hashtag and say, oh, this is, so it is great. It does save you time, but there is some customization you need for each platform to make it work as well for you.
Yeah, nothing's perfect.
That's right.
I
So
mean,
what you're saying,
if you can go in and manually post everything, I mean, more power to you. It probably helps in your algorithm too a little bit, because sometimes I think Instagram knows that we're using something, but
so let me see if I have this right. You're saying that if I'm just throwing up a picture a few times a week, that ain't getting it done. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, you're getting it done. Yeah. Just put
I thought I need to use all the features or more of the features to really make an impact.
I think you just want to be alive on there. So you want to just be consistent. It's just the consistency. So just show up on Instagram, a few times, maybe post 2 to 3 times on your feed a week, and, as much as possible in the stories, but 4 to 5 times a week, maybe in your stories. Little things, doesn't have to be a big thing.
Right.
And it can be quite different because, like, Rainey, when you post stuff on our stories, it can be more designy, like showing all these photographers' images, and it has a design feature to it. And when I do it, normally on the weekends, it's just me writing something, a picture of my life. So we do the mix. It's not that consistent.
And I have to say, like, get help if you need it. Like that's the other thing, is hire somebody, delegate it, get somebody. If you are not interested in knowing all these things about Instagram, get somebody that is interested in it, that will keep on top of it for you, just the trends at least. Because if you have somebody that's working with you that's like, here's what's happening, then you don't have to pay attention to it, and you can focus on your photography.
And other businesses, we all want to be active on Instagram, but for photographers, we have to. I'm telling you, and as Mary said in that webinar, we can lose jobs. It's the tiebreaker. They're gonna look you up on Instagram. If you're bidding a job, I guarantee it. And someone here asked, for linking in your IG posts, is Linktree still the norm?
We use Linktree because you can't link as in a comment on a post, but now in a story you can, guys. It's very exciting. You can now link. You should have it. I mean, Instagram rolls out things different times, but we have it in both of our accounts. So yeah, it's amazing. It's so, I mean, I like Instagram, so I'm excited about it.
And you said no more swipe up, right?
There's no more swipe up. It's just the link now. So, I mean, we saw a huge boost from when one of our photographers had to swipe up because we didn't have 10,000 followers. There was a wall. So he posted and he linked to our news page. And we had the most we've ever had on that news page in a day from a swipe up from Instagram. So I feel like this is a game changer with the links, guys. Link to your website.
News page on our website.
News page on our website from his swipe up on his. So, but now we can all do it. Now we can all do it. Link to your website from your Instagram, you know, whenever you can. Get people over there.
But can you do it on the feed? I mean,
Not
yeah.
on the feed.
Oh, you
Not on the
can't.
feed. So if you want somebody to go to your website or wherever you want to, I would say we use Linktree. There's other ones, but that's the one we use. It's free and it's easy. It works.
Mhm. Yeah.
All
Right.
right.
Good.
Thank you so much, Andrea and Randy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was great for sharing your knowledge with the community. I guess if they have any questions or concerns, they can tweet you, Instagram. I mean, would you do Twitter? Are you a big Twitter? I love Twitter myself, but what can I say?
We
I
use
like
Twitter.
200, I like 280 characters and get me in and get, make it fast.
Rainey, where should they? Well, go to Instagram. We have a new website.
That's right.
We do. We have AskSternRep.com, which we do link in our stories occasionally now that we can.
All right.
So AskSternRep.com, but and then our Instagrams, and we have ask@sternrep.com. You can always email us questions there.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Andrea.
guys.
All right. Great. Okay, everybody. It's Steve, chapter director for APA Chicago. If you weren't here at the beginning of the event, we have a change in the schedule. Our 2 o'clock, Kimberly Nussbaum, our producer at Upshot, has come down with a horrible case of laryngitis and literally can't talk. We tried to force her to do it anyway. No, I'm kidding. We told her take the afternoon off. We will reschedule with her. So we have an hour break in the schedule. We will be back at 2:55-ish. So I guess we have a 50-minute break break in the schedule. We'll be back at 2:50 with Jigisha Bovare, who will be talking about estimating and knowing your worth in the marketplace, which I think will be a very important topic. I think when we think about growing our business, we always think about more jobs, more projects. And of course, that is very, very important. However, pricing our projects appropriately, making sure we're requesting the right usage fee for our work is equally important to growing your business, especially when there's less jobs out there. So we will have her starting at 3 o'clock, and we hope to see you back then. So hopefully you can grab some lunch or take a quick break, check your email, do all that stuff, and we will be back shortly. Thank you again, guys, for what a great talk on Instagram.
This was fun. Thanks for having us.
Okay, thanks, Andrea.
Thank you guys.
All right. We'll see you all back here at 2:55. Thank you.